مساء الخير. اسمحوا لي ارحب فيكم باسم شركه فيلادلفيا وباسم جميع العاملين فيها في اول حدث اقليمي لنا. هذا الحدث لاطلاق مستحضرنا الفيتيليز. مستحضر الفيتيليز اللي جميعكم عرفتوه، كثير منكم جربوه، وكثير منكم لاحظ النتائج اللي الحمد لله ممتازه على مدار. الان هاي راح تكون اول بدايه لنا باول ريجنال لونش، اول مستحضر. وان شاء الله راح يكون في عندنا اذر ايفنتس قادمه نلتقي فيها هذه اللقاءات، وان شاء الله تكون اكبر وعلى فترات ايضا اطول. نبدا بدايه بتقديم شركه فيلادلفيا للادويه. فيلادلفيا فارماسيوتيكالز كورابيتال هيلث اند ويل بينج. من اين اتينا بهذا السلوغان اللي احنا بنعمل تحت رايته؟ اولا واكثر من المسج من التشيرمان رئيس مجلس الاداره السيد حسين، فيلادلفيا فارماسيوتيكالز عباره عن شركه مساهمه عامه حاصله على شهادات الجي ام بي بالمانيفاكتشرنج بروسيس، وانشئت عام 1993 وبدات بالانتاج عام 1997. الان في العام 2013 في شهر 3 مارس اشترى الشركه مجموعه من الناس اصحاب فكر، هم اصدقاء. هؤلاء الاصدقاء كان يجمعهم بليف، ايمان، معتقدات معينه، افكار معينه. هذه الافكار اللي جمعتهم خلتهم يستثمروا كل خبراتهم، كل قدراتهم، كل امكانياتهم في الشركه. وهذه المعتقدات منهم اولا realizing the importance of contributing to the healthcare and well-being of our local societies. هاي أهم. ثانيا we believe that having a healthy generation is a cornerstone in the advancement and the progress of our society. Sorry. Well, first and foremost, our mission is humanitarian. مهمتنا إنسانية، وهي توفير حلول للأطباء وحلول للمرضى. فيلادلفيا زي ما حكينا شركة مساهمة عامة، وبدأت بإنتاج مستحضراتها في عام 1997، وبدأت بالانتشار في الإكسبورت ماركت في الشرق الأوسط وشمال أفريقيا، وحصلت على شهادات الجي ام بي من عدة جهات. من هم أصحاب الفكر في شركة فيلادلفيا؟ رئيس مجلس الإدارة هو السيد منذر حسين، خبرة لا تقل عن 20 عام في مجال الصناعة الصيدلانية. سيد كايد الشعباني نائب الرئيس، خبرة لا تقل عن 22 سنة في الأمور المالية والسوق المالي. سيد رضا الغول وهو المدير العام وسي او الرئيس التنفيذي، أيضا خبرة لا تقل عن 18 سنة في مجال الصناعة الصيدلانية ومجال المالية والبنوك. والأخوين محمد سيان وأحمد سيان وهم أصحاب شركة هوكالي أكبر موزع للدواء في العراق. سيد أو الدكتور خضر جوان، خبرة أكثر من 28 سنة في الصناعة الدوائية. والسيد جابي أو جابرييل أيضا خبرة أكثر من 20 سنة في الصناعة الدوائية. أصحاب هذا الفكر كان لديهم رؤية فيجن، وهي to grow Philadelphia Pharmaceuticals to have a leading role in the healthcare service، ويكون السبيشاليتي ان التخصص الاكبر في الديرماتولوجي والwomen healthcare markets. Our mission is to be number one dermatology company in the Middle East North Africa region. Where are we now? We are number 5. Number 5 من كل الشركات سواء العربية أجنبية في هذه المناطق. هدفنا نصير نمبر 1. طبعا ما راح نصير نمبر 1 الا بدعم شركائنا، وشركائنا هم انتم. نقاط قوة فيلادلفيا: a team with a distinguished experience in management, a high caliber teams of sales and marketing, R&D, quality assurance and quality control, solid infrastructure و planning facilities, integrated with a professional supply chain process. A rich pipeline with a unique gap filling products. What do we mean by gap filling? نحن نبحث عن المشاكل التي لم يتوفر لها حل، لم يوفره للطبيب ولم يوفره للمريض. Extra space to manufacturing facilities was left for future expansion with new lines. Our strategy, targeting unmet needs in the markets with a distinguished high-value product for the healthcare provider and the patient. We are building a high-technology team with unconventional experience in each and every department, and we are ensuring a strong partnership with each partner. What do we mean by partner? Our first partner is the doctors, you. Our second partner are the distributors and the pharmacists and the patients. Our facilities, we have state-of-the-art machinery, as you can see. These state-of-the-art machineries can provide us with over 22 million units per year. This is the production capacity. Our certificates, GMP from the Jordanian Food and Drug Administration, also from the Saudi Food and Drug Administration, from the GCC, Central Registration in the Gulf. Hopefully, in the next presentations you will see, in the coming year, you will see other certificates like the ISO, and you will see the CE marking, Certified European Marks, for exporting our products to European markets. Our product categories. Skin-related disorders. As I said, احنا شركة متخصصة في مجال الجلدية. لهيك أكبر لاين عندنا في الجلدية من الأنتي لاينز والسكيبيسايدز، antiseptics, bleaching, hyperpigmentation disorder preparations, emollients and protectives, keratolytics, and psoriasis treatment, skin healing agents, topical acne preparations, topical antipruritics, topical antivirals, topical plain antifungal, topical plain anti-infectives, topical plain steroids, and topical steroids with antifungals and or anti-infectives. Other categories, women health, gynecological and vaginal preparations. We have vaginal antifungals, alkalinizing and cleansing agents, antimicrobial, germicidal, antiseptics and hemostatics, and vaginal progesterone. Allow me to take 2 minutes here. First, for alkalinizing and cleansing agents, we are one of the rare companies in the Middle East who imports the vaginal douches from Italy. I think Dr. Torello will be happy with this. We are importing from the vaginal douches, the applicators, they are made in Italy and tailored in a way to provide the lady the easiest way of use and the safest way of use. And for vaginal progesterone, we are one of the first companies, or local companies, or Arabian companies, who are able to produce hormones. Producing a hormone is very difficult. To produce a hormone, you need special line, special building, special machinery, and even when you want to produce vaginal progesterone, you know, ladies are not allowed to enter the building. Only males. Other products. In alimentary and gastrointestinal system, we have anti-inflammatory and analgesic antibiotics, dental and oropharyngeal preparations, hair care products like Lysophil hair products, local anesthetics, respiratory system, and other miscellaneous products. Our new product, Vitilase. Vitilase, the actual treatment for vitiligo. Vitilase is the first and only pseudo-catalase in Asia and Africa. And Vitilase is the only pseudo-catalase worldwide with a 3-year shelf life. As we all know, pseudo-catalase was available in Europe previously, but no company ever was able to make this formulation stable for the patient for more than 6 weeks. We are the only company worldwide able to produce pseudo-catalase and to make it stable for 3 years. One of other new products is Sealar. Sealar is a new entity, only produced by Philadelphia. Sealar is made from Dead Sea salt with other herbal preparations like clove oil. Sealar is the first and only treatment for both anal fissure and hemorrhoids. As you know, when a patient suffers from hemorrhoids, he goes to the pharmacist or the doctor. And if he's diagnosed with hemorrhoids, but he was suffering actually from anal fissure, he will take a medication for hemorrhoids. This will make his anal fissure much worse. Cellar has solved this issue. It's a unique natural entity with a high safety profile that treats both anal fissure and hemorrhoids at the same time. Even in clinical studies, Cellar showed greater efficacy than lidocaine 5%. Just to feel, we talked about it, it's progesterone, vaginal suppository, the convenient hormonal therapy for IVF, in vitro fertilization, and intracytoplasmic spare injections. It's convenient with equal efficacy and ease of administration through vaginal or rectal routes. It's replacing using progesterone IM, which is very painful for the lady. Our Lysec. Lysec is the first and only effective treatment for head lice, necks, and eggs also. This product, we are the only manufacturer in the Middle East, North Africa, Asia, Africa, all of it. The material in it is citronil. It's unique and generally recognized as a safe ingredient. It's non-pesticidal, with only 10 minutes of application, and with a patented comb. This comb can remove the dead lice, the necks, and the eggs. The actual problem of lice, if you treat it, the mother, when she looks at the hair of her child, after a week, she sees the lice again. Well, actually, the lice might have died, but these are the nets and eggs. So our comb, our patented comb, can remove, kills, and it cleans also. Let's look at the sales records of Philadelphia. Philadelphia, as we said, was acquired in March 2013. Then it was at that time was the acquisition. You can see the sales dropped to 0.5 million. After the acquisition, the sales jumped to 6 million and made another jump to around $15 million. And we are aiming to close about $20 million this year. Our markets. Philadelphia is currently exporting its products to 13 countries. We have 13 countries: Algeria, Libya, Sudan, the Gulf, Yemen, Oman, the Gulf, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Lebanon, and our head country is Jordan. Hopefully, by next year, in the coming presentation, you will see the blue color extending to include more countries in Africa, and you will see us enlarging this map to include the Russian market. After that, we are aiming for the European market with the CE marking certificates that we are planning to get. Any questions about Philadelphia? Okay, I will leave the mic with Dr. Midhat. يعطيك ألف عافية.
Thank you, Dr. A.Malek. أولاً مساء الخير. أود أولاً أن أرحب بالأخوة والضيوف من الدول العربية الشقيقة السعودية والعراق والسودان، وأود أن أرحب بالأخوة الزملاء أخصائي الأمراض الجلدية من الأردن في هذا اللقاء العلمي. اسمحوا لي أن أتكلم باللغة الإنجليزية لتقديم محاضرة اليوم. First of all, it gives me a great pleasure to meet with you tonight at the lowest spot on earth, that is the Dead Sea. Now, in a scientific event that is generously hosted by Philadelphia Drug Company, a real partner with all dermatologists in Jordan, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Philadelphia people for giving us the chance to enjoy and live the wide experience of a renewal guru in dermatology who will highlight the recent developments and advances in the field of vitiligo concerning pathophysiology and management. Professor Torello Lotii, who is the chairman of Dermatology, University of Rome, Marconi, the director, Institute of Dermatology, president, World Health Academy of Dermatology in Zurich. He is the author of 47 books, and he has more than 2,000 publications. More than 500 of them are on the PubMed. He's a real old good friend and a great dermatologist. So let's welcome the professor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Medat. And I would like to thank to the Philadelphia Pharma Company for inviting me. And it's a great pleasure for me to be again to Jordan and to find by the Dead Sea old friends of mine, and I hope new friends of mine. You know, my country is a very friendly country, Italy. This afternoon, I would like to share with you some concepts on the role of hydrogen peroxide in vitiligo and its impact effect on the immune system. I am aware that you have a very wide knowledge of vitiligo. You know how to treat your patients, and I have no doubts that you can give me lessons on vitiligo. What is important is that we share our studies, our experience, and feel free to interrupt me when you wish if something is not conform to your experience and to your knowledge. Here is my disclosure of interest. Unfortunately, there are very many in all continents. And here is my university office in Rome. Next year, in December, I will organize a masterclass on vitiligo just inside my university, and I hope that you all will be with me in the eternal city of Rome, which is now in front of you. And you will see my university and my office. This is the sunset in Rome. I've seen this afternoon the sunset on the Dead Sea. It's very similar. Yes, I was shocked. The colors are almost the same. Obviously, the Dead Sea is not Rome, and Rome is not the Dead Sea. And this is probably most important. This is my office. This is my office. This is a famous palace in Rome downtown. It's named Palazzo Odescalchi, Colonna. And here you can see my office. You can see the flag under that of the Italian Republic and of the European Union. And this palace is between the Vatican, that is a few meters on the left, and the Tiber River, which is a few meters, really few meters. I can see from my window on the right part. We are in the center of Rome, in the heart of Rome, and maybe you don't know, here is also the office of Professor Dr. A.Malek, who has been appointed as annual professor of dermatology and regenerative medicine in my university, and the appointment arrived last week, if I'm not wrong, signed by the rector of the university, and I would like to congratulate you for being part of my faculty. I'm very proud and I'm very happy to have one more friend with me in Rome. Congratulations for that. Very good. Well, today we will try to share what is the role of hydrogen peroxide in vitiligo and how vitiligo, which is considered an autoimmune disease, can be related to alteration on this H2O2 molecule. You will see that the different systems, I mean the endocrine system, the immune system, and the psychoneural systems are interrelated. And in a disease like vitiligo, it's very difficult to find a way to disconnect one from the other. Nevertheless, we will try to focus into this field because for the first time we have this cream, Vitilase, which is stable, which is active, and which is able to rebalance the levels of H2O2, which, as you will see, are heavily damaged into the vitiligo skin. So, to make short the story, I divided into several points. My presentation to you, some data on vitiligo, what is vitiligo, what is the redox system, what is catalase, what is a pseudo-catalase, and the story of a success of treatment of vitiligo with pseudo-catalase, which brought the formulation of the stable cream, Vitilase, thanks to this company, which I didn't know in advance, that is the Philadelphia Pharma Company. And then we will discuss some essential readings, some conclusions, and at the end, I hope we will be not tired to have a good dinner. First of all, vitiligo, who are you? Vitiligo is a disease with many faces, very many faces, and very many different presentations. We all are able to recognize vitiligo, but honestly, I'm not sure that these patients that you see in front of you have the same disease. I mean that probably behind them there are different pathophysiologies and probably even different etiologies. In other terms, I think that it would be wise to speak of vitiligos with plural instead of vitiligo as a single disease. Vitiligo is not only a disease of the skin and is not only a disease of melanocytes. Vitiligo is a systemic disease. I will give you the evidence of this, but still you can see some papers which have been published last year from my group and myself. And vitiligo is the prototype, is the paradigm of the psycho-neuro-endocrine immune connection. In other terms, we are in front of a disease which is not a simple skin disease. It is not like a fungal infection. It is not like a bacterial infection. It is something that has to do with the different systems, which is related to abnormalities in different cytokines, growth factors, neuropeptides, and neurohormones. And what we see in the skin as dermatologists is just a part of the overall issue. We see an epiphenomenon, we see something that is a white patch, But that's just the upper part of the iceberg. Is not all vitiligo. Vitiligo has something to do with imbalance in the blood, in the skin, in the lymphoid organs, in the endocrine organs. You will be shocked by some papers I will show to you in a while of neuropeptides, cytokines, neurohormones, and hormones. In the past, we used to think that the brain is inside our head. Today, we think the opposite. We think that there is not one brain in the head, but there is a diffuse brain, which is in the gut, which is in the skin, which is in the immune system, which is in the endocrine system. What does it mean? It means that the neuropeptides, the neurohormones, and all other messengers which are essential for the functioning of the nervous systems are produced and released by the skin, are produced and released by the gut, are produced and released by the immune system. And so it makes no sense to create a difference and to put into different boxes organs which are interconnected by the same syntactic words, which are cytokines. And here you can see those which are more involved in vitiligo: TNF-alpha, interleukin-1, and interleukin-6. Many years ago, I was happy enough to be one of the first to describe the presence of neuropeptidic fibers into the skin. We know today that some types of vitiligo, but not all, for example, segmental vitiligo, is a disorder in which there is a very heavy dysregulation of synthesis and release of neuropeptides, mainly substance P and calcitonin G-related peptide. Nevertheless, at the end, the final result is the same. There is an imbalance in the redox system, in the skin, and you will not believe me, even if it is very limited, also in the body, also in the blood, all over. This means that we are in front of a new paradigmatic shift that is the shift of the future, and maybe also of the past, of skin diseases as psychoneuroendocrine immune diseases. In other terms, we are in front of disorders, and vitiligo is a prototype of these disorders, in which the immune system, the endocrine system, the neurovegetative system, and the central nervous system are interrelated. They speak the same language, and they share the same, exactly the same mistakes in terms of homeostatic control. This mistake is a mistake in terms of synthesis and the release of messengers, mainly cytokines, growth factor, and neuropeptides. In other terms, the immune system is always interconnected with the psychoneuro and endocrine systems. This is the new paradigm of psychoneuroendocrine immunology. I am really very proud of having been able, with my group and myself, to publish this paper. This was published last year in the GADV. This paper is interesting. Why? Look at the title: Autoimmune markers in vitiligo patients appear correlated with obsession and phobia. What does it mean? It means that in a cohort of 180 patients, we measured the autoantibodies against the surface melanocytes antigen, against the thyroid, against the thyroid hormones, and against the gastric mucosa, and so on and so on and so on. And we could see that all patients, 100% of patients, show autoimmune antibodies even if vitiligo is limited to a very small patch on the skin. But what was really amazing was the observation that the different levels of autoimmune markers in the blood, the circulating levels of autoantibodies, were correlated with the levels of obsession and phobia. This means that there is a very clear, extremely well-documented relationship between our emotions, our, I would say, intrapsychic events, and the immune system. I think that this paper has been confirmed by hundreds of papers from many different groups all over the world, and other colleagues went much farther, shows how vitiligo is a disease of the psychoneuroendocrine immune system. And this brought me to publish recently, this is of this year, paper like this, low-dose cytokine and psychoneuroendocrine immune approach in dermatology. Here is the future. Well, here we are. Another issue I have to share with you. We see vitiligo on one patch, and we think that the rest of the skin is a normal skin. Believe me, it is not true. This is one patient of mine who got married, and he developed what I named the wedding ring vitiligo. You know better than me the Kelvin phenomenon. One way or another, we can always show in our vitiligo patients that all the skin is ready to become affected by white patches. And sometimes it's just a question of a very small friction of some contacts. The wedding ring vitiligo, in my opinion, is a very illuminating issue that should bring us to reflect to something that is the third point. The third point is that it is not wise to treat vitiligo only with external treatment. Vitiligo is a systemic disease. Apparently, normal skin is ready to develop new patches, and patients are very much concerned with the concept that there can be widespread vitiligo immediately after, and so I propose to you to share this concept of a systemic treatment of vitiligo beyond the most successful local treatment of vitiligo, and I think that today systemic treatment of vitiligo is a must. This booklet has been published by the World Academy of Dermatology and brings this new data of an innovative treatment with oral cytokines and growth factors, mainly fibrous growth factors, for vitiligo patients. And this paper is a paper which has been published recently, 2015. 5 countries have contributed to publish this paper, brings the successful combination treatment based on oral low-dose cytokines and different topical treatments. And I didn't know the friends of Philadelphia Pharma. We were shocked when we saw that the best combination of oral cytokines is with pseudocatalase, local treatment. This study has been published by us in May 2015, so a few months ago. It is a very complex study that we published on dermatological science, and it is a study which has been performed in cell cultures and co-cultures, both on the ACAT cells and on the primary culture cells of keratinocytes and melanocytes. You probably know that vitiligo does not start in the melanocyte. The melanocyte is not the first cell which is affected in vitiligo. The first cell to be affected by vitiligo is the keratinocyte. After a long time, the melanocyte is affected. And there are 3 cells which play a major role in inducing vitiligo, in inducing the white patch: the keratinocyte, the Langerhans cells, and the melanocyte. And today we know that there are 2 more cells which are regulating the overall physiohomeostasis into the system. One is the fibroblast, and the other is the endothelial cells. And from this, at the horizon, the new treatments with the fibroblast growth factor and endothelin 3, which are extremely strong repigmenting agents from inside, not from outside, from inside. And we have oral cytokines just for this. Vitiligo is a systemic disease. You know that melanocytes come from the neural crest, they go to the eye, to the hair, to the brain, and also in other parts of the body. The melanocytes go to the epidermis, they go to the hair follicle, where they have very strong activities in different parts, including the bulge area. They go into the hair, into the inner hair, where they are related to balance, and into the cochlea. They go into the eye, where we have 2 different types of melanocytes. One is the melanocytes of the choroid, the other is of the retinal pigment and epithelium. They go to the brain. Every week, I have some neurologist from some parts of the world who calls me and say, I have a patient with dementia. He's a young patient, and I found with magnetic resonance alterations in the neuroenamine. Can you tell me what does it mean? And they say, you are the neurologist, you should tell me what does it mean. But we know that exactly as in the skin, in the brain, melanin has a function of detoxification. It is a scavenger of reactive oxygen species. So most probably very soon we, as dermatologists, we will become the doctors of dementias, or at least we will be consulted for that. Melanocytes are in the heart, and there are some types of arrhythmias, even malignant arrhythmias, which are related to altered function of melanocytes. Unfortunately, these kind of arrhythmias are 10 times more common in vitiligo patients than in non-vitiligo patients. And last but not least, the adipose tissue is rich of melanocytes, and they play a very subtle but continuous role as pro-inflammatory molecules, and they are affected in vitiligo, and they lead to altered reduction of reactive oxygen species. Just to conclude, vitiligo is a puzzle. At the end, there is the melanocyte destruction or inactivation. For sure, autoimmunity is involved, even if we should discuss for 1 week the ways it is involved. For sure, neural hypotheses are true. For sure, melanocytoration is true, but what is most important is this molecule that you see in the bottom, H2O2, the radicalic hypothesis. This is the final killer of the melanocyte destruction, and this final killer is the target of catalase, pseudocatalase, and vitilase of our company, who is hosting us tonight. Thank you very much for bringing this for the good of our patients, because we were able to orchestrate some treatments for all the others, but we had nothing in our heads for contrasting, combating the radical hypothesis. Karin Reuter is my friend. How many of you know her personally? Raise hand. 1, 2, okay. She has a very strange character. It's not easy, but she's very clever. And she has been the first to study the role of pseudocatalase in vitiligo. Unfortunately, she brought to a lotion which is unstable. And I heard, and I'm very happy that today what she tried to create has been professionally created by Philadelphia Pharma. This is good because she had good ideas, but she was not able to reach the final product. Karin has been one of the authors of this book, which I published in 2003 in the United States, Vitiligo Problems and Solutions, and she contributed with a beautiful chapter on pseudocatalase. Now she again contributed to this book. This is new, it is a book of 1,000 pages, and as I said to the friends of Philadelphia Pharma, I have 100 copies. It is an e-book, electronic book for you, so if you leave your address to the friends of Philadelphia Pharma, you can receive free of charge as a present from my department to you. In this book, there are 2 chapters, actually 3 chapters, on the role of hydroxy peroxide and catalase and pseudocatalase. But initially, we started with studies in the pathology of Karin Reuter and on the relationship between the hydroxyperoxide and vitiligo. And what came to light immediately in our book is that most of the studies have concentrated on melanocyte. This was a mistake. I told you, vitiligo is not only melanocyte disease. In addition, the loss of functioning of melanocytes, and now is coming what is interesting, the keratinocytes and the Langerhans cells are disturbed in the disease. And the chapter with which Karin Reuter contributed to my book is an attempt to highlight some results from basic research and try to connect this data to the clinical picture of vitiligo. In other terms, a new approach to the oxidative stress. This was published in 2000. After this, I don't know why, still we use pupa therapy. Still we use, for example, these derivatives of psoralen, local or systemic. Why we use so widely corticosteroids? Why we use so widely calcineurin inhibitors? We know that this is the way, and there is enough evidence, and I will show to you that it's time to change our mentality and our treatment. Initially, it was shown that patients with vitiligo have low levels of catalase in their entire epidermis. And we go back to something I have already shared with you. Not only in the affected epidermis, but also in the apparently healthy epidermis. Keep this in mind. And then other studies have shown that peripheral blood lymphocytes of vitiligo patients also have low catalase levels, and that these cells are susceptible to H2O2 stress. What does it mean? Well, it means that not only this disturbance, which can be solved locally with the use, for example, of Vitilase, has something to do with the non-affected skin. Not only this, but that in the immune system there is exactly the same disorder. And this disorder cannot be hidden. We have to take in to focus our attention also on this. What is the redox system? Well, redox is an acronym for chemical reduction oxidation reaction. In other terms, there is a system which can oscillate from oxidation to reduction, a potential of the cell which can be measured and which has to do with apoptosis of the cell, proliferation of the cell, differentiation of the cell, necrosis of the cell. This redox system is, phylogenetically speaking, a very prominent system, one of those systems which are related to the development of life on Earth. What means reduction? Means to gain an electron, so the oxidation number will decrease. What means oxidation? Means to lose one electron, and so the oxidation number will increase. What can we do for modulating the redox system when this system is not working properly in the skin and in the body? You have seen that the skin and the immune system are both affected in terms of redox alterations. And in my university, I'm very proud